We are not getting a divorce.
We are not getting a divorce.
We are not getting a divorce.
Wait for it. Divorce.
Hello! Welcome to Dickhead City. It's actually the Super Divorce Supercast, and I'm Nick Villars.
And I'm Bob Tallman, and I'm butthurt that Dickhead City didn't make the cut as our podcast title.
I'm Bender, and I think Bob has $1 million idea for adjustable condoms.
And I'm Dale. I think Dickhead City should actually be our new band name.
Side project.
That's what I'm saying.
I feel like Dickhead City would be the store where they sell adjustable condoms.
Yeah.
How would adjustable condoms? How would that work? You have an idea?
Well, it wasn't really a practical idea when I came up with it.
Considering that all condoms are technically adjustable because they are latex.
Yeah,
and
they're stretchy.
But how did you make them more
Yeah,
adjustable?
I'm curious.
It's got a good ring to it. Adjustable condoms.
Adjustable
Yeah.
condoms, yeah.
The thing, condoms are tricky because the reason you're wearing it is because you don't want skin to skin contact, or
Maybe you change the material so that it's a firmer material that can be adjusted, but is also like dishwasher safe, so you can reuse it.
Oh no.
I was just picturing like how an adjustable hat has the little notches on it.
Yeah.
And it'd be more adjustable at the bottom of the condom, like how you roll it down and you get all the way to the base of the penis, and you can tighten that or loosen that part, but I'm not thinking about the whole condom.
Well, I kind of like your idea. I'm going to riff off of that. I have an idea how we can get this to work, and I think it would be it'd be a big hit. A lot of people would like this. If you have the adjustable snaps on the is it plastic?
Yeah,
that doesn't seem like it'd be very comfortable for the lady.
Well, it's not going inside her. That's why it's at the base.
Well, I don't see.
Do you want to ever put it all the way in?
Yeah, you do, but that base part is
Well, see,
like
for my idea, we need it to be comfortable for the lady or the male.
Okay.
Yeah.
It could be Velcro.
That'd be awful.
That's like even worse.
Well, it's closed. It's not exposed Velcro. It's
What about those
Close
one hats
over.
that have like the buckle type situation?
Yeah,
going
it could-
on? What about that?
Yeah, like, I know what you mean.
and the buckle could itself be made of a comfortable material.
Yeah.
Maybe it's made of a more like a bit.
Slightly more rigid latex.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's still kind of rubbery.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to hurt going in.
Yeah.
Yes.
In fact,
Okay.
it might add a new texture to the mix, like the ribbed for
Yeah.
her pleasure. But
Well, I'm
Like
thinking
belts.
that
I'm riveted for you.
I'm thinking it's adjustable in two ways.
okay.
The first way is that when it comes in the package, you take it out and it's basically the ring as you're used to.
Yeah.
But this is going to require some technology. I'm imagining that you put it on, and then the ring actually rolls down and reveals the rest of the condom as you're used to.
Mm-hmm.
But it's adjustable by way of remote control. So you put it on just the tip, right?
Mhm.
And then after it's on the tip, you adjust the tightness of it using the strap, as Bob mentioned.
Oh, okay.
And then once it's adjusted that way, you can decide how far down to roll it
You
with
engage the remote control.
with the remote. So the reason it would be good
That
is
would
because if you wanted to, you could actually just leave it on the very end, and it would it would catch your fluids.
But you would also get the sensation of skin-on-skin contact on the rest of your penis.
Yeah. But if you were with someone you didn't trust,
Mm-hmm.
then you could roll it all the way down.
That you didn't trust. I don't trust you. I'm still gonna have sex.
We're still gonna fuck, but
That'd be a whole new insult in like the casual sex community. Like if you pick up a chick at a bar and you like take her home and you go to have sex with her and she notices that you've rolled the condom all the way down. What do you think, I'm a whore? Like,
she would talk about that with her friends the day after. Like the sex
he
was good,
the condom
but he rolled the
way
fucking
down.
condom all the way down to the
but
base.
sometimes the guy would opt for not rolling it all the way down, and the female would say, "You gonna roll that?"
Yeah, you better roll that down.
True.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it could go either way.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the remote helps you.
So you can, during the act of coitus, just while she's not looking,
roll it back up.
Roll it back up a little bit and get a little more sensation.
Adjust it mid-sex.
Transferring.
Or if you didn't want to offend her, you could get started and make it look like you've just got it on the tip, but then you roll it down
as you're inserting the exact same rate.
There's an app on your phone. You just got it next to the bed, and you press the button.
Jesus.
It could even, as you thrust, be going up and down.
That would require a lot of coordination. You'd have to.
Well, for the actual. It would have to have sensors in the.
Well, yeah, that'd be a more expensive model.
We're talking nanotechnology at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're here to talk about pre-9/11 internet. So, if this is your first time listening, this is what we do.
Yep.
We just hang out with a microphone in a room.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's not safe for work.
No.
A lot of people like it.
Do they?
By a lot, I mean a little.
A few people like it.
A handful of people.
I'll give a shout out to Tyler because he loves our podcast.
Yeah.
He'll always take a screenshot of it and be like, "Dude, this week's podcast was awesome." And
good. That's awesome.
Yeah, it makes me feel good.
Thanks, Tyler.
Shout out
At
to
least-
Andrew too. We all know Andrew's a big supporter and we love him for it.
I know he listens, but I don't necessarily know if he likes it.
Doesn't matter if he likes it.
He does listen
He
to it.
listens to it.
Yeah, that's right.
If you listen, I don't care if you like it or not.
Yeah. He tunes in every week, so that's worth something to us.
I feel like if you're at least listening, that means you don't hate it.
Yeah.
You might not like it per se, but you also
You just don't have anything fucking better to do.
Might as well waste 2 hours listening to these four fuckers talk about
well, that's
shit.
what podcasts are good for, right?
That's
You
true.
can just put it on when you're doing whatever.
Yeah.
I like to listen to podcasts while I drive. I hardly ever listen to music when I drive anymore. I just listen to podcasts. So
I've been doing this thing where I'll get on the exercise bike at the gym and I'll put on a YouTube video that's the Mass Effect 1 menu screen music, and it's just like really soothing, like sci-fi tones, and I will read a book while I'm listening to that. So yeah,
that
you
is...
kill like a bunch of different birds with one stone. It's interesting to try to do strenuous cardio and read at the same time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know. When you do cardio, are you on like an elliptical machine or a treadmill?
I'm on a bike.
On a bike? Okay, so you're kind of stationary.
Yeah, my ass is planted, my legs are doing the movement, and my upper body is basically stuck in place. But
that's feasible though. If you're on an elliptical, there's no
you're
fucking way.
Bouncing up and down. Yeah, it'd be easier with an e-reader, but if you're trying to hold a legit book while you're on a fucking elliptical machine,
you look like a doofus.
Yeah.
And trying to turn the page, like, God damn it.
I actually like the elliptical, but I
love ellipticals.
switched to the bike specifically so I could read more comfortably.
Bikes, ellipticals, treadmills, I think they're all garbage.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you can't read while you're running outside. I guess you can listen to a book on tape, but...
You could, or you could just run.
Yeah, you
could. Listen to
could.
the sounds of nature.
Yeah.
The pitter-patter of your own feet against the turf. The birds chirping.
I have nothing against getting outside and running. I just think
What about running on the track? You don't like that?
I do. I used to go up to the local high school when I lived in Cincinnati. I'd go up to Oak Hills High School where I graduated from and run around their track at night. And just, I love the feel of tracks too. It's a lot
like bouncy.
easier, on your feet and knees and stuff than the pavement. So
The machines just bore me to death. I hate it. I hate not going anywhere.
if you're
Yeah,
reading,
Ellipticals are nice though. It's like
Yeah.
less pressure on your knees. It's just like this like fluid motion. It's
low impact.
Yeah, I like it. I like
the lowest
ellipticals.
impact is actually biking, though. I mean, so you're literally stationary in your knees. There's no impact. It's just like the circular, which is what an elliptical tries to emulate. It's
Right.
like a mixture of the two.
Sometimes you want the impact.
But yeah,
Sometimes you need
that's
it.
right. Yeah, nothing against running.
You get a good pair of running shoes with some nice inserts to take the impact off a little bit.
Yeah,
Take that edge off.
Yeah.
Save your knees.
I
your
think
joints.
there's validity to all this. I mean, you want to mix it up.
Yeah, whatever.
I
Whatever you
do
wanna
like
do.
running. It's too cold for me right now though. Give me like 2-3 months
I
and
think
I'll be good.
the temperature right now, I think it was in the high 40s today.
Give me 2-3
I love-
months is like everyone's excuse.
I run a lot. It's like actually the only thing I do anymore is I run and do the elliptical machine, but it's when I'm ready to work out, it's like 9-10 o'clock at night, and it's a little too cold for my liking to go outside and run at that point.
What I was gonna say though is, in like the 40s, you're cold initially, but once you get your blood flowing,
That's true. That
it
is
starts
true.
to feel better. I like it a little bit chilly to run outside. I hate running when it's fucking 90 degrees at
Yeah,
night
that's
during
tough.
August. But
That's my jam right there.
that's yours. I thought you would be a fall running
I
guy.
like running really in all seasons, but I actually look forward to when it is uncomfortably hot
Yeah.
and going out to run. For
It's
some
just-
reason, I just love the grueling nature of it and being drenched in sweat.
It's
and
cleansing.
Yeah.
It's like
I,
a baptism.
like I remember the first time last summer when it was like above 90 and I was out and it was like really humid, and like once I had gotten a nice sweat going, I remember saying out loud, "Oh fuck yeah!" It's like,
Audibly said that.
Yes.
Fuck yeah!
I
I'm
said
gonna be
it.
miserable on this run.
that's when you get to learn about yourself.
Yeah.
How far can you take it?
Yeah.
Well,
Take it up the ass.
Yeah. How far will it go in?
I don't work out at all. So
Yeah.
You
So-
do work out when you're behind your drum set.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's a workout.
When
Yeah.
he plays drums, he's definitely burning many more calories than the
There are
rest
people
of
who
us.
That's
couldn't
true.
do that.
there are
Not
people.
even. I'm not saying they. Of course, if they're not drummers, they couldn't play what you're playing. But I'm saying just the activity itself they'd probably be worn out after a minute.
Well, okay, I work
cases.
out once a week
While sitting down.
while sitting down.
And you're lean and fit.
I am lean and fit.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing going against you is that you're a dick. Dickhead. Dickheads live.
I have a
shorter
running.
lives.
I have a running job too. I'm always moving at my job.
Yeah. You don't sit at the computer all day.
That's when you say that. That makes me laugh because the new thing is these fucking Fitbits
Yeah.
that everybody's got, and even my high school kids have them.
I had one.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you like it, or did you think it was unnecessary? Because
To
to me, I'm either gonna work out,
Mhm.
you know, I'm gonna do, you know, if I want to do it, I'm gonna do it. I don't need something to keep track of my steps. You know, that's the new
Yeah.
thing. How many steps did you get yesterday? And it's like,
well,
doesn't-
mine tracked my sleep as well,
oh, okay.
and it would keep track of like how long you spent in deep sleep and how long you were like partially there. You know.
How does it know that stuff?
By your movements.
Ah,
So if it's on your wrist, when you're totally still, you're like in your REM sleep.
huh.
But if you're like twitching a little bit or moving around, it picks up on that, and it'll show you like when you log it, you put the data in, it'll give you a little chart, you know, a little graph that shows you like where you were throughout the night.
It's actually pretty fucking nifty.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What happened to yours?
What's the purpose?
I ended up losing it in the pit, the foam pit, when I was doing gymnastics. And then they found it, and I got it back. And then I had gone like a while before they were able to give it back to me, and then I just never started using it again.
Mm.
And so, but when I did,
Yeah.
I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm not. Maybe I was originally dogging on it, but the steps thing, because there's so many ways to do cardio. You can do 4 30-second sprints and do as much work as you did running 3 miles at a really slow pace. So those steps are going to be different steps than, you know, or standing up and dancing around behind the teller line to get your steps in. That's what some of my kids do. They just like do a little jig every now and then. I'm just like, that's not really exercise, is it? I mean,
I don't know.
I guess it's better than just sitting on your ass.
Yeah.
So about that internet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We had a topic. Forgot.
Oh, real quick before we get on to that, maybe we should tell people about our album that they can download.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say, since we're talking about
Yeah.
music and listening to stuff while you work out.
Yeah, and then talking about working out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a 10-song full-length album that you
We're
can...
also a band.
Yeah.
We make music.
Full-length album, Wish You the Best. You can acquire it at superdivorce.bandcamp.com. And it's really good.
And soon we will get that on all of the big streaming platforms when we have physical copies made. But we're just trying to get enough money raised to do that. So if you feel so inclined, you can name your price when you download it.
Yeah.
And throw some money our way so that we can have some physical CDs made and then get that thing up on Spotify and iTunes and Pandora and all those other fucking ones that people go to now.
Yeah, don't feel bad if you can just pay like $1 or $2 for it. We've had donations or purchases from anywhere from $1 to like $15.
Yeah.
So,
and if you can't do anything at all, no worries. Just downloading it, that helps us out too.
And tell your friends.
Yep.
I had some good positive feedback on the album since
Yeah.
we put it out there. A few people have texted me personally. It's like, dang, this music is very impressive. It's like, oh, well, thank you. Like,
That's what we want to hear.
we
I've had a lot of
worked
people-
hard. Like it's
I've
very
had a lot of
satisfying.
people say the opposite.
Yeah, a
Oh.
lot of them.
Yeah.
Our music sucks dicks.
I'll be sleeping. I'll be in the dead of sleep, and my phone will ring, and it'll just be somebody calling me to tell me we're awful.
Somebody you don't even know.
Yeah.
Some number
Found
that
my
you don't
phone number through nefarious channels
your
on the
music.
internet.
You know that album of yours is trash.
It's terrible.
I've heard trash, garbage.
It's a waste.
A waste.
A waste.
A big
junk.
mistake.
A big fat mistake.
That's Super Divorce.
Oh.
Super Divorce is a waste.
By the way, also, I want to say farewell to Jeb Bush
Yeah.
dropping out of the race.
It's sad because, I mean, Trump really has no opposition now. I mean,
Well, Cruz.
Cruz and Rubio, but
But I feel like he might be cruising for
Yeah.
a bruising.
yeah.
You're competing with Donald Trump.
Well, and recently I read an article. I don't even want to get into this shit that much, but the guy who has the algorithm that kind of tells who's going to win the election,
Yeah.
and it's only been wrong once in like 105 years. It says if Trump wins the Republican nomination, he will win the presidency. So,
Well, guess we'll see.
yeah, I don't know what to do.
Well, why don't we go back to happier times?
Yeah.
A pre 9/11 world. That's what
Yeah.
we're trying to talk about today.
Yeah,
So, you know,
booming economy.
yeah.
President getting his D sucked.
Well,
Yeah.
Bush was president before 9/11.
That's true. So you have a little bit of you have Clinton for most of the early internet, and then Bush gets a couple of those years. Well, 1 year, I think.
Dale, what's your first experience of the internet that you can remember? And was it pre 9/11?
It was.
I guess is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was. I don't remember the first time I used the internet pre 9/11, but I remember our family got our very first computer with dial-up internet when I was 4th or 5th grade. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, it would have been 4th grade because 5th grade for me is when 9/11 happened, and yeah, we got our first computer in 4th grade, and I just remember that noise, the dial-up, the sound of getting on the internet.
Yeah.
It would take almost 2 minutes to get on the internet.
Yeah.
And most of the time, I would look up game cheats. That's what I would do. I was it's probably PlayStation at the time, probably not Xbox yet. Probably good old Crash Bandicoot cheats and whatnot, stuff like that. That's usually what I would use the internet for.
Do you guys want to dial up right now?
Yeah, I was going to say, since Dale mentioned the dial-up sound, if you're out there and you maybe didn't experience this firsthand back when it happened, you can't remember this. Back in the day, before our broadband and cable internet, you had to connect to the internet. Your computer wasn't just online all the time. Most of the time it was not online because your family needed to use the phone and things like that.
I forgot about that.
God,
I remember, I had to ask my mom and dad, can I get on the internet?
Yeah.
Well, I'm expecting a call. You can't yet.
And there were the options. I remember in AOL, you could go into settings so that it would kick you off if someone called.
Yeah.
And that's how I remember I had to have mine set up. So I'd be chatting with my fucking 8th grade crush or something, and then goodbye.
No,
Dad!
Hear the phone ring, and then my mom's on the phone with my aunt for 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's God damn it! And there's nothing you could do.
No.
That was the struggle back then.
Yeah.
And I remember being so jealous of people, friends that I heard about who their parents got a second phone line for the internet. So they could just get on whenever they wanted to.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I remember asking about that. And I was like, we're not doing that. I'm not getting a second phone line. Because my parents hated the internet to begin with.
Yeah.
It took a long time to convince them to even go for it.
Yeah.
But they never got online. They didn't like it.
My dad loved the internet.
Did he?
Yeah, he would. I mentioned last week that he would play Yahoo chess constantly and be trying to get his rating up, and I love the internet because I could look at pictures of naked women on it.
Yep.
I remember at first the first computer I had was always in my dad's domain, and I would have to get in there, and his couch and stuff would be next to it, so there wasn't a lot of room for I'd have to wait for him to be gone or something to do something nefarious with the computer. Yeah. Which was really funny at the time, because if you're talking about trying to get a video, don't even...
No videos.
No videos.
No.
Thumbnail gallery.
Yeah, you're thinking...
where it was.
Yeah, and if the thumbnail is appealing enough, you'll click on that and wait 30 seconds to 2 minutes maybe for the image to load. And
Well, I saved a lot and put them in a secret folder that was hidden within 30 different folders and system files that I knew no one would ever go to.
I actually sometimes would print them out through the color printer, and I had a folder that was I forget the artist, but it was always tigers and lions and things from nature that were painted in a stylistic way, but it was all
Lisa
over.
Frank?
No, but I had a folder with whales on it, and it was known as.
Oh, I remember.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the name.
It was known as the whale folder, and I remember one time my cousin threatening to tell my mom about the whale folder for some reason. I don't remember why. or how I pissed him off.
Well, if you're out there, just imagine you're sitting down at your desktop, and you click on AOL to sign on.
No one's on the phone, and you're just hopping on there.
And before you could go and chat with anyone on AOL Instant Messenger or AIM, you savvy ones out there, this is what you had to sit through. So here you go.
Wow.
So unpleasant.
I know, it puts it into like, what is happening? Like getting on the internet, like that is a task.
Why do you have to listen to that? Why doesn't
know.
it just do it silently?
Yeah, that's like what
recall,
is
you
it
couldn't
that's
mute that?
Yeah, that was like you
no-
had to hear that every
Yeah.
time.
It was like coming from inside your computer somehow.
Yeah, what was happening like to the computer itself? What was it doing to
Yeah, I
make
don't
that
know.
noise? It's crazy.
Well,
to
you're
think about that.
you're connecting through a phone line, so it's like it's literally dialing up to a server.
Yeah, but I just never understood what those noises were. Like,
Yeah.
what's happening inside the phone line?
Well, have you ever called or tried to fax like a phone line, and you answer the phone, and the
Yeah.
fax machine's trying to talk, and it's those noises. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Don't you have a fax machine?
No.
um,
Dang, that's the first time I've heard that noise in, gosh,
That's probably
15
been-
years
yeah.
almost. That's amazing.
Reminds me of being over at my grandparents' house. They had the internet first.
wow.
Really?
Yeah, before I did at home.
Wow.
Trendsetters.
Yeah, the hip grandparents.
Yeah. And they had, I remember they had a computer game, because my computer at home wouldn't run computer games. It was shit. It was a Packard Bell Windows 95 computer.
Oh.
And, yeah, they had Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, the video game.
Yep.
Just trivia.
I feel like I remember
Yeah,
having
sounds
that
like fun.
game. I had the Survivor game too.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It took so long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I don't remember having any. I had like the stock games,
Yeah.
that came with it. You know, but those aren't internet based. It's just
No.
like Minesweeper and
Yeah.
fucking Microsoft Paint and stuff. But
Mhm.
did you guys go into a lot of chat rooms at all?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's well, I remember specifically like in 6th grade we would like the everybody in my math class, like we had like our math review sheets due every Friday or Monday or whatever day, and we would get into like a chat room. Like we'd all like, okay, everybody get on your AIM name and join this chat room at 4:30 today. Everybody's just going to give each other the answers, so none of us have to do the work. And we would do that once a week, and it was like 15 of us that would just. It was great. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's like an actual, I would say that's, a useful chat.
Yeah.
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 I was thinking
If you're
like,
lazy.
I was thinking pre-AIM because AIM didn't come along for a couple years, I think.
Well, you could still instant message, but
You
it
could.
wasn't,
But I'm thinking like OG AOL chat rooms where you would type in a topic or something,
yeah.
and it'd be a chat room where it's like a certain age group or something, and you want to go in and
Yeah, my friend Kyle and I used to frequent one called Redneck Rebels. And it was just like the most racist people you
Yeah.
could imagine who somehow had the internet in 1998. And, we would just fuck with these people. And we would get them, like, threatening to come to our house and, like, hang us. And all we had to do was go in and, like, start writing, our favorite rap lyrics or talking about how great Tupac was. And it would just be, like, an explosion.
yeah.
And you can imagine. But But that was a fun one, and
people in chat rooms did not fuck around.
no.
If you went in before the term trolling, but if you were trolling,
Yeah.
you would get everybody in the chat room on your ass pretty quick. It'd be a gang rape, you know.
Yeah.
Me and my buddies used to get in chat rooms to try to talk to girls.
Mm-hmm.
And we would, I don't know if this could possibly be pre-9/11, but I do, yeah. Because I remember even in 2001, that's when people were first starting to get high-speed internet.
Yeah.
Because I had one friend who had it, and we would always go over to his house, and that's when full-motion porn videos came in. We would go into chat rooms and try to get, like, girls on webcam to flash their tits and stuff. And it was like never successful ever.
Yeah.
Like you'd get in there and somebody'd say like, I'm a 15-year-old girl from Florida or something, and you'd open the webcam and it'd be some dude like jacking off.
I feel like it was always Florida.
Yeah, it was.
Always comes up. ASL 16F FL.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you're like, ooh, she's from Florida, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. If they were from, like, Texas or something. Everywhere in the South was always like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
She's probably in a bathing suit right now.
Yeah.
She's
It's
probably
hot
in
out.
underwear. It's hot.
That's hilarious.
You guys can't see Bender right now, but he's just wincing with pain. Dude,
I never liked chat rooms. I
Really?
always hated them.
They're funny. They're very.
Well, they used
entertaining.
to have a feature on AOL where you could search your area, and that's what I used to do.
Yeah.
Well,
And you could see who was online.
I've never in my life been in a chat room with strangers.
Mm-hmm.
People that I didn't know. Like, when I had AOL, it was all just my friends or whatever, and I would very rarely enter into conversations with multiple people in the same chat. Sure, there were times where I'd have 8 fucking conversations open, but having multiple people in the same window, that almost never happened. And when it did, I always hated it.
Well, it's funny because
you could go private with people too.
Yeah.
You could you could be in the main chat and strike something up with somebody that you thought was cool, and then you'd be, you want to go private, and then you'd get a little message, a little instant, and then you'd have your own little time,
Well, it's interesting because I feel like we got away from that, but now with Facebook, it's pretty much the same setup we had with AOL to start with, because you started off with the Facebook Messenger, or you would just get messages when you're on Facebook, and now you've got the separate app, which is kind of what AOL did with AIM. You could just have AIM on your computer. You wouldn't have to be like on AOL at the time.
It's just a more efficient, modern, upgrade to something very similar.
Now, maybe it's just because when I was younger, I was slower at typing, and I had to, like, grow into that, or maybe because, like, with how far technology has come, like, it's just so integrated into our lives now. But, like, you're right, like, our chat room for the band that we have on Facebook, it doesn't bother me at all. Like, it's just okay, it pops up whenever you say something, and whenever Bob, and it's got your name, and I'm just like, okay, we're just gonna respond, like, no big fucking deal. But when I was younger and on AOL frequently, I never liked it.
You didn't?
Mm-hmm.
I used to love, because AIM, when AIM came along, that was the big thing. You'd talk to your friends privately, but if I remember correctly, there was a feature where you could get everybody in on it, so you could have like 4 people talking in one box at the same time.
I think that's what Dale was talking about. That he would do with his school buddies.
So it'd be like, oh shit, this guy's online. Let's jump in a chat with him and just talk about shit.
The old group message on
One
the
thing I
iPhone
miss
now.
That I think that they should bring back to Facebook Messenger is the feature of the away message.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about bringing that up too. Yeah,
They should do that.
Message.
Yeah.
Because you could always leave something cool in your away message, and
Be like
I actually found out about Thursday from a friend's away message. Because I'd messaged one of my buddies, and his away message said, "Go listen to Understanding in a Car Crash by Thursday." And so I just like went on whatever I had, whatever downloading program it was, you know, and file sharing program, and downloaded it, and that was like my first dose of Thursday.
Yeah.
So I think away messages are cool, and then also people don't get butthurt if you like, you know,
Don't
send a
respond.
message and
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. Yeah, and that's the one thing I kind of bitched about when Facebook overtook MySpace. Even though Facebook is, you know, far superior and it's obviously got a larger staying power and everything, the customization of... Even with AIM, you could customize your font and your background.
Your little profile.
Your
little message there. So.
Yeah.
do you remember AOL hometown pages?
I don't know.
It rings a bell, but I don't specifically remember utilizing those. I had a Yahoo profile that had like a picture of me, and you know, I would chat with girls on Yahoo, and you know, do you have a prof pic? You know,
Yeah. Sorry, SRY, no scanner.
Yeah, Here's
I remember
pre-digital
now,
cameras.
You know, you think about it, and it's like we were around for literally like the birth of abbreviated speech.
Yeah.
You know, in messaging, like when people would say BRB.
Yeah.
I can remember seeing that and being like, what the fuck does that mean? And I had somebody be right back, and now it's just.
Girls back then always used to use LYL, and no one does that anymore.
LYL.
Love you lots.
Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't have known what that.
Yeah.
I still see some like now. Every now and then, somebody will drop one on their Facebook, like whatever status. Like, wait, what does that mean? I literally had to Google it.
It
I
took
don't know what that
me
means.
months to figure out what SMH meant.
That's one that comes to mind. That what
Months.
My head.
Shaking
Yeah.
my. I always thought that it meant so much hate. I just assumed that's what it meant. I was like, oh.
I had a girl convince me online that LMAO stood for lick me all over. So the next time I was chatting with a girl and she, you know, I guess began, you know, she sent that abbreviation for laughing at me. I was like, whoa.
Whoa. I'm gonna keep talking to this girl.
I never quite had cyber sex, but there were, you know, some back and forths where it was like,
Yeah.
sitting on your lap, like leans over and kisses you with the 2 stars on the ends.
Oh, yeah.
I used to do those, but I think I might have done it for serious maybe a couple times, but mostly it was like when I was with a buddy.
Yeah.
Like Kyle and I would go into those types of chats a lot and just get it going.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I remember one in particular where I think the girl wrote like leans in for a French, and then it was like, and I remember replying
French.
I remember replying just with like pulls out cock. And then she left.
Oh my god!
She left.
She left the
Immediately.
conversation. Huh?
Yeah.
No response,
You-
like how rude or
Whipped it out too quick.
Yeah.
Man.
pulls out cock.
You gotta ease into it. That's hilarious. I remember, like, kind of similar to that. Me and my buddy growing up, Tyler. We would get into those situations, but we would pretend to be a female to see how fucked up the guy would start acting. Like, oh, by the way, like 10 minutes later, like, by the way, we're 2 dudes. Fuck you, man. You're fucked up.
How big is your cock?
Yeah.
You are your cock.
Her cock. OMG.
You'd never be 100% honest about your dick size either. If a girl asks you how big your cock was.
Yeah, I'm 11 inches.
I'm 14 with An 11-inch dick. Soft.
Yeah. I literally have phrases that people said to me burnt into my memory from those days. And one of them was, talking to a girl, and she said something like, I have a boyfriend, he's 11 inches and thick. That was one. The other one, I remember going to a girl's profile page, and it said, in quotes, my boyfriend's armpit hair is so sexy.
What?
That was another. That will always stick with me. I don't know where it came from, but yeah.
To each their own, I guess.
Bender, do you remember your first internet experience? Not anything like spectacular, just the first time you used it.
I think the first time I can really recall like doing something extracurricular with the internet aside from Instant Messenger.
Yeah.
Would have been when I was a freshman in high school, and I went over to. I had these two friends, Nick and Ben, and we would frequently go over to Nick's house and spend the night, and we would go up to the computer in like the office of the house. They had a really nice house, and get on ebombsworld.com and watch, just like fucking go to the cartoon section or whatever and watch all the Flash videos.
Yeah.
I mean, literally the same videos like every time we hung out. It was like the same 26 videos, you know? But you watch all of them all the time. I remember like seeing the Numa Numa guy like for the first time, and remembering when that came out, and he was like one of the first internet phenomenon, you know.
Dang, I remember that guy.
And I know that's like, if I was a freshman, that would have been post 9/11, but still, like, that was really my first internet, you know, kind of experience, experience.
Did you miss out on Newgrounds?
Just barely.
Yeah.
I think I never was like, I was on Newgrounds, but I always played the games.
Oh, okay.
I never, like, experienced the rest of the site, I guess.
Bob? Did you ever visit Newgrounds?
Newgrounds doesn't ring a bell to me.
Damn.
I don't know what that is either.
Woo!
I don't think. What is it?
It was, like, just all Flash animation.
I don't... No, I don't think so.
Newgrounds.
Newgrounds.com. It's still up.
Maybe I had friends who showed me some stuff on it, but
that's where the Sloth TV video was posted.
It rings a bell, but it wasn't something that I did by myself. It would have been something that people showed me over friends' houses or something. But
Newgrounds was big. I'm a little disappointed that you guys didn't experience it during. Yeah, but you still can. So if you want to check out some of what was popular pre 9/11, go to newgrounds.com, because you still can browse and find out what people were watching in the late 90s and early 2000s.
I might do that tonight.
Yeah, a lot of it's probably really horrible by today's standards.
But Flash animation at the time was like, that was the shit. Like, that was cool. If you could Flash animate.
Yeah. I remember one video that I always watched, like, over and over for some reason, was this one called, I think it was Mikey's Closet. And like, this guy goes into his brother's bedroom, I think, and hears something coming from the closet, and he, like, opens the door up, and it's really shitty animation, too. And when he opens it up, there's, like, this horrible shriek, and, you know, his eyes get all big, and the camera pans to the inside of the closet, and there's just this monster sitting there jerking off, like, coming all over the place. Like, screaming. I probably watched that video hundreds of times.
Was Salad Fingers pre?
That was oh boy, I don't know what year Salad Fingers would have been.
my best friend Colin, who I live with currently, I remember him showing me salad fingers for the first time when I was in 8th grade. So that was a little bit after, but that might have been around before then, but that's when I first remember it. So I was probably like 13, maybe 12 or 13 years old.
Well, there was like salad fingers and Burnt Face Man. And
Burnt Face Man.
Jerry Jackson is also from the same animator, David
I love
Firth.
Jerry Jackson.
But yeah, that's pretty early stuff too. That might have been pre-9/11.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
I'm the one who set like the pre-9, or did we set originally 90s internet, and then I was like, well, that's limiting us in a lot of respects.
Yeah.
So, but
Pre-9/11's good.
yeah,
What was your first internet?
Oh man, I remember we got the computer. We had AOL, and it was like the discs, you know, the fucking, and they'd send you the free 700 hours of.
Yes, it was timed, wasn't it? I forgot
AOL
about
4.0. I remember AOL 4.0 specifically. That was like, and I would see my dad playing chess on there, and I couldn't grasp chess as well, so I would just play Yahoo Checkers and then hope to meet a girl in there, and then that spawned the actual just going to chat rooms straight off the bat.
That's hilarious. We're gonna play checkers in hopes of meeting a girl.
And I was good at checkers too, so even if there was a girl who was, chances are they wouldn't play me again if I beat the shit out of them. So I wonder if those Yahoo games are still maintained.
I just love the mentality there. I hope there's another 14-year-old female playing checkers on Yahoo right now.
But there wasn't that much shit to do on the internet, though.
Yeah, it's true. It's very,
your
very
chances
true.
were better back then than they would be today. Yeah, I mean, playing Yahoo Checkers is probably that, and AOL chat rooms, and I remember the internet at my cousin's house was different. He didn't have AOL. He had this internet called Netgear.
Yeah, I remember that. I think that's what I had. Maybe. I can't remember.
Sure it wasn't Net Zero.
Net Zero is different. It was because Net Zero came after, and that was like during the time when people were refusing to pay like $60 a month for internet, for high-speed internet that wasn't even that good.
Yeah.
Because we got Net Zero at my house because my dad was like, I'm not paying fucking $60 for internet. So I was the only kid who still had dial-up in like 2002.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had this service, I believe, I'm almost positive it was called Netgear. If I'm wrong, it's just because it's been so long, but I loved it because you could search anything. It wasn't like a search engine, but it was like everything Netgear had was contained within this.
So it was like the internet.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and you could find naked chicks on it.
Yeah.
So it was literally like built in.
Okay, got it.
It was built into the actual site, so you could search like topless girl, and it would bring up,
I remember when
I feel like your entire internet experience for the first probably 10 years of the internet existing has revolved around naked chicks.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that your guys didn't.
Well, there was a healthy amount, but I feel like I was doing some other things. I remember my first experience with the internet was at my friend's house, and this was probably like 92 or 93.
Wow.
And his dad worked at Wright Pat, and they always had like a brand new top of the line computer for whatever year it was. And he had a service called Prodigy. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
No.
But he showed me Prodigy, and like I don't think I grasped what was going on because my technology at that point was like Super Nintendo had just come out, and he's like showing me the internet, and like he was the first person to show me PC gaming.
Yeah,
I remember him showing me Wolfenstein 3D and Doom and stuff like that. But I don't even remember what we looked at, but I know that was the first time that I ever saw the internet was him showing me Prodigy. And but the first time I ever searched for anything, I was at another friend's house, and he had just gotten the internet, and I wanted to go to wwf.com because I kept seeing advertisements on Raw for it. That was probably like 96. And it was really just like bios and maybe like a trivia game or something.
If there was a picture of fucking Deborah on there or something,
that was pre-Deborah.
Was it?
That would have been like Sunny.
Oh yeah, 92. Yeah.
No, this is 96.
96
with wwf.com.
Do you guys remember rotten.com?
Yeah.
People saying don't ever go to rotten.com, and then you just wanted to go to rotten.com, and it was just pictures of fucking people whose bodies were rotted from maggots, or people who had shot themselves in the face, or it was all dead people and stuff.
I never had the courage to go on Rotten.
You never went to rotten.com?
No, never.
I remember uglypeople.com.
Uglypeople.com was fucking awesome. I'll get on board with that. That's one thing I did that wasn't related to looking at naked chicks.
Uglypeople.com.
I used to,
and I did try to talk to real girls, at least.
Yeah.
But I was...
And try to get them naked. Like, I was saying.
It was that, but also, that was more when my friends came over. When it was just me, I had girls I just liked. You wanted to make
a real connection.
Yeah. I just liked talking to girls on there, and you'd show up and hope that they showed up online, and it would tell you, this person's on, and you join the chat room that they're in. I mean... I wasn't a ladies' man when I was a young guy. I was extremely awkward, so the internet was a way to put a buffer between me and the opposite sex, and I felt more confident to talk to them.
Sure.
I didn't have girlfriends, per se, on the internet, but that's what I kind of practiced talking to girls online, and then...
Yeah, it's less pressure. You don't have to get the face-to-face rejection.
Yeah, because you can sit there and you can think about your response for fucking 20 minutes.
And you can like type something out and read it like no, better delete that shit and start over.
Sorry, I had to help my mom carry something downstairs or something. And make up an excuse. I don't know.
Carry with my big giant muscles. Sorry.
When I finally had a real girlfriend, I remember, this has nothing to do with the internet, but this is how awkward I was. I gave her my phone number at school, and she called me that night, and she began to talk to me, and I got so nervous that I pretended that my mom was calling me to get off the phone, and I told her I would call her back sometime.
How old were you?
I think I was 11, maybe 11 or 12.
Did you ever call her back?
No, and she broke up with me because I never talked to her. She would walk toward me at school, and I would walk away from her.
Oh man, that's bad. That is rough.
Yeah, I still know this person. She's married now, and it's funny because it's one of those where you asked a girl out, and I just fucked it up so bad. And then just for the rest of school, it was just like you couldn't talk to the person because it's
ever.
So fucking weird.
Yep.
I didn't get confidence until after high school.
I feel like that's kind of common though. Like for most people, that's when you're like, oh wait. Doesn't matter what everybody else thinks. That's
you
usually
put so much pressure on yourself to
be
get
cool
girls,
or fit in or whatever. Yeah,
especially when your friends around you are doing it so effortlessly, and you're the one who's just has no fucking clue how it's done. Because I saw people who were clearly, I knew that I wasn't like an ugly fat son of a bitch, but because there were uglier, fatter dudes getting girls,
Sure.
but they knew how to, talk to a human of the opposite sex.
Here's something internet related.
Okay.
Since you're both guitar guys.
Yeah.
So, did you guys ever spend time downloading or printing out tabs?
Oh yeah,
Hell
absolutely.
'Cause I feel like that was a big thing to do back then.
The first riff I ever learned on guitar after my mom bought me a guitar, and actually my dad did on eBay, and I still have the guitar to this day. It's got stickers all over it. It's a PV Raptor.
Was that your first guitar?
Yeah.
You got to keep your first guitar.
Yeah,
you have to.
And I had this. They also bought me this like beginner's guitar book. It was like a little thin, and it had some chords in it and stuff. And I tried to do what was in the book, and I just couldn't get it. And I gave up.
Yeah.
And my guitar sat for like 6 months, and then two of my buddies started a band, and they were like, "You have a guitar? Why don't you play guitar for us?" And so I wanted to be in the band, obviously, because being in a band's fucking cool. So the first riff I ever learned, and I printed out the tabs for, was a Day Tripper by the Beatles.
That's kind of a tricky riff even right now.
Yeah. And I thought I was the shit when I got it down. Yeah. And that's all I knew how to play when I showed up to play my instrument.
Was that
practice?
That was your first song on guitar, learning how to play Day Tripper?
Mm-hmm.
Mine
I only learned the main riff. I didn't even learn the rest
fuck
of the
the rest of the song. It doesn't matter, because I learned my first song on guitar that I could play was "Wish You Were Here" by Pink Floyd, and I didn't know how to play the rest of the song. I could just play the dun 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 dun. I could play that part.
Was that a tab?
No, well, my uncle was the guy who taught me how to
okay.
play. He taught me for about 2 years when I first started playing guitar, and then after that, I had a few other people that taught me, and then I switched to tabs because I had this ego, like I'm good, I can teach myself. And tabs, like I don't do tabs now. I can't do. I'll look it up on YouTube, and like I like to have somebody with a guitar showing me how to do it, because tabs it doesn't translate. It's like you don't get the rhythm of it. You don't. I don't know. I hate tabs.
Huge pain in the ass.
Yeah, I don't like tabs.
But back then, it's all you had. You couldn't have a YouTube video that taught you how to play it.
UltimateGuitarTabs.com or whatever it's called.
What are tabs? Well, who might not understand what you're talking about. They're thinking of tabs like on a notebook, marking off a different topic, but that's not what it is.
Let's see. The best way to describe tabs would be it's like a printable version of, like, it gives you a visual of the guitar neck, and there's going to be numbers all over this chart, and each number represents your finger number, and your index finger is 1, and then your middle finger is 2, and so on, and it shows you what fingers you should be using at which fret on the guitar neck, and that's a very bad way of describing it. It's hard to get a visual. It's hard to really describe what a tab is.
Show.
It's not the best way to learn how to play guitar.
And
let's put it that way.
It's like it's for people if you don't want to learn how to read music.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, it's a dumbed down version of reading music.
Yeah,
basically.
it's easier than reading music for sure.
Yeah,
but
there will be things. I remember, trying to check out tabs when I first got a guitar, and there would be times where and it still happens. I'm sure that you run into it today, Bob or Dale. If you're looking something up and you just happen to try and find a tab, you'll play exactly what they've got written down, and it just doesn't sound like anything.
Right.
It's like, no, this is fucking stupid.
My method now, when you guys want to learn a cover, when we want to do a cover, is I will look up the tab and have the tab in like a window off to the side, and then I'll pull up a YouTube video of somebody teaching me how to do it.
Yep.
I'll use the tab to get started and get where the placements are and stuff, but I won't necessarily use that to learn the whole song. And then I'll watch the guy on the YouTube video play it, and then I immediately start just listening to the real song and playing along with it. Because then I'll get all the shit, because tabs can be wrong. The guy on YouTube can be wrong, but the song is not wrong. So if you have enough of a grasp of where you should be at, and then you listen to the song, then that's the way I learn best with trying to pick up a cover. But yeah, back in pre-9/11 internet, it was all about just the tabs, and then you'd have to, if you wanted to play along to the song, you'd have to download it on Kazaa, or Kazaa, or WinMX, as we mentioned.
I had LimeWire.
Yeah, some people had LimeWire, which...
Remember, LimeWire would fucking wreck your computer after so long.
Oh, yeah. Definitely
Yeah.
would.
Oh, man. Somebody came over my house one time to hang out and installed a bunch of shit on my computer, and it fucked everything up. My dad was so pissed. Did you guys ever have a friend that fucked your computer up?
Well, my buddy Tyler, again, he was like my next door neighbor. We were really good friends, but he modded my Xbox, not necessarily my computer, but he modded my Xbox and gave me all this fancy shit on my Xbox. And within 6 months, the Xbox completely just crapped out and it didn't work anymore because he didn't do it right. And if he would have done anything to my computer, probably the same situation. Yeah.
And I remember the dude saying, "This will make your computer run faster."
Exactly. This will help you.
Yeah. And then there's like new icons and stuff, and my dad's like, "What the fuck is this shit?" You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, "Why? Why did you do this?"
I remember my stepdad getting pissed because I changed the resolution on the screen, so it made the icons smaller.
Yeah.
It's like, what happened to the computer? It's like nothing. I just made it look not like shit.
My dad would get pissed anytime something would change, like because I don't remember if there were different profiles at first.
Not at first.
No.
Yeah, so everybody,
use the same desktop.
Would use the same desktop, and it'd have the same background and same icons, so...
We never had separate profiles.
No. Do you remember, did you guys have Windows 95 to start with?
Probably.
I had 98 was my first.
Oh, really?
Maybe 98, yeah.
Because Windows 95 had this... There were two different ways you could run Windows 95 on my computer. One was like your typical Windows as you know it now. It's changed a bit, but you would recognize it. It looks the same.
Yeah.
This other setting, I can't remember what it was called, but when you decided to start your computer with this other Windows 95 setting, it was there was no desktop. What you saw on your computer screen was like a living room. It was like a virtual living room, and there were different rooms you could go to. So you'd like click on a doorway, and then the view would pan through and into that next room, and then you'd be staring at like a bookcase or something. And on the bookcase, you would see like little icons for each program that you wanted to use. So you'd click on one of those to say start a game or something, and then you'd go to different rooms for different types of programs. And it was kind of interesting, actually, when I think back on it.
Yeah.
It seems interesting and tedious at the same time.
Yeah, because, if you want to find something quickly, you don't want to have to, browse through the room.
You don't
memorize the
want to search
layout of this house. Like, wait, is it in the kitchen?
Where did I leave my keys?
Fucking library. I can't remember.
I can see why it didn't catch on.
Yeah.
But it
why
seems
we're
cool.
sticking with the simplified.
But I feel like as
efficient.
an option, like if you could set up your own house and design it now, that might be kind of neat. Like if you did like a Skyrim Forge type of thing, and you could design your own interior and decorate it how you wanted to, and put your icons where you wanted, and that might
I'm
be
sure
kinda
there's
cool
a
thing
way to do that now. You'd probably have to download some kind of skin for Windows that allowed you to do it, but I'm sure it exists. Little virtual world.
Someone comes over to use your computer, and it's like, where's Firefox? I think it's in the basement.
You stick Internet Explorer in the base.
Oh yeah.
Because fuck Internet
No,
Explorer.
Internet Explorer, that would go in the attic.
In the attic,
Yeah.
in a shoebox.
On the bottom of a pile of other boxes you placed
Yeah.
up top.
Yeah.
And Google Chrome is like your big screen TV
Yeah.
in your living room.
Yep.
Yeah.
Firefox would be in like the guest bedroom or
Yeah.
something.
Firefox was a shit for a while there.
Yeah, there for a minute.
I feel like
People-
before Chrome.
Mm-hmm. People still prefer it sometimes.
I
I
use
mean,
Firefox.
Do you?
Chrome is just
I don't
so
know why.
fucking easy, and it's got Google searches built into the
I've
search
never,
bar,
to me, I don't fucking get what the difference is. Safari, Firefox, Google Chrome,
Lycos.
I don't.
Internet Explorer.
Yeah, internet. Like I don't. Why? I don't get it. It's all the. It takes you to the fucking internet.
It's just
all
an
the same thing.
It's an interface for the internet. It's whatever layout you prefer.
How about Ask Jeeves?
I remember. Ask Jeeves. I would not want an internet
Ask
layout
Jeeves.
based on Ask Jeeves.
Yep.
Yeah.
What about
Yep.
an Ask Jeeves for the new millennium?
Yeah.
I remember
be
trying to
Ask
use
Jarvis.
Ask Jeeves
Yeah, that's true.
in school. I remember trying to use that website because it was like, oh, just go and Ask Jeeves and you like type in whatever it is you're trying to research.
Yeah.
And I remember in like 5th or 6th grade still thinking like, well, this is fucking stupid. I don't understand what this Ask Jeeves character is really doing for me. He didn't do anything for me.
Yeah,
It's
because I
just-
remember using that for the first time and actually typing questions in. Like,
Exactly.
To give me an
Too.
answer.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was just a search engine.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is... Well, he's not answering me. It's
Yeah.
just...
Just just pop up
G-
the link.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jeeves
Google.
would just Google things
Yeah.
for you. It was just like okay.
Free Google. And then the Google guys were like in college in the late 90s, and they had it was like a dorm room challenge how to create a search engine, and the one guy just reversed all the links on the internet to go to Google, and then they created a search engine in like one night.
Yep.
Thunder, I feel like Ask Jarvis is a great idea. I'm surprised they haven't done it yet.
Ask Jarvis.
Or made Jarvis a Siri-type character.
Well, you got Cortana.
I actually have. I have an app on my phone that's supposed to be Jarvis. The only problem is you have to enter the app to get it to do anything. But
Yeah.
it's like once you have the app activated, it's like voice recognition. It can set alarms and all that, bullshit. But you still have to get into the app. Like it's not. I think I've only opened it once because it's not that cool. Because I can't just look at my phone and go, Jarvis, do this.
You can change Siri to a male voice if you want to.
But is it Jarvis?
It's not, no.
I want the witty comebacks of Jarvis.
Oh, I just had a random thought, a memory of pre-9/11 internet.
Oh, so did I. So you go first.
Okay. Pizza Hut ran a promotion
Hey,
in the
Siri.
late 90s, and you could go onto I think it was on pizzahut.com, and it allowed you to create like a mix CD, and you would put in like your your information from your receipt for your order or something to verify, and then you got to create a mix CD by choosing like 10 out of 30 songs or something they had available for you to choose from, and then they sent you your own mix CD in the mail. And I remember doing that,
Yep.
and it had like a bunch of songs that I didn't know, but I just made the CD anyway, and it had like one Red Hot Chili Peppers song, and I thought that was cool,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like one of their famous tunes or
It
anything.
was just
so-
Red Hot Chili
yeah, it was
Peppers.
like a random Red Hot Chili Peppers song, and it's like, oh, okay, well, cool, I
Yeah.
guess.
I remember getting a game demo from Pizza Hut that like I don't remember like what would like make them send this thing to you, but I remember getting a PlayStation disc demo that had like one level of multiple games, and
Was Tony Hawk?
Tony
on there?
Hawk was on it.
I
I was about to say
remember
like
that.
that's
I had
how I
that.
discovered Tony Hawk, because Pizza Hut gave me some PlayStation disc that had the first level. You could only play as Tony Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Rune Glifberg, I think, might have been the other guy you could play as. But that was it. And for whatever reason, Pizza Hut sent that out, and that's, in my opinion, that's what made Tony Hawk so big.
You used to be able to get movies with Pizza Hut promotions from time to
Yeah.
time.
Really? I never got that. Pizza
They would
Hut.
have family movie night, and you'd order a pizza.
And they would send you a
then
movie too?
They would give you a DVD.
Yeah, I think that's what I've got.
4
Awesome.
movies.
I got a copy of Weekend at Bernie's.
That's right. You did.
Because I still have it. It's in the little sleeve. It's not
Really?
an actual DVD
It's just in
case.
a sleeve.
Yeah.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. I'll take a pizza, and I will also have your guy bring me
And
a
the
movie
thing
as
was,
well.
it
I like
wasn't-
that.
It was a special promotion, but it's not like it was okay, we're going to give you this movie, so it's going to be $30 for your pizza. It was buy a pizza, $10, we'll throw in a free movie.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I like that.
And they always had 4 to choose from.
Yeah.
But I guess with Netflix and Hulu and everything
Yeah.
else nowadays,
I was
it's
gonna
not
say
really gonna
story.
take.
It's a
Physical
brief,
media.
very
Yeah.
brief story, but I distinctly remember being in grade school, and I think this was before I had the internet at home, or at least I was never on the internet when I was at home. But having Ask Jeeves and everything, going into the computer lab in probably 4th, 5th grade ish, and sitting down and we had a project to research, the government or whatever, and the teachers had to make it very clear that you couldn't go to whitehouse.com. You had to go to whitehouse.gov because whitehouse.com was a straight porn site.
Yeah. I remember that.
That's
And
funny.
they were just and I went to Catholic school too, so they were very adamant, make sure it's whitehouse.gov.
That's funny.
Like the government.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys feel like .orgs were more common back pre 9/11? You don't run into a lot of .orgs.
I think
anymore.
.nets were more common back then.
Really?
I don't even remember many .orgs from that period.
There's it's all no, I don't remember a lot of. I don't do a lot of .orgs.
What about .cc? That was a newer one that came along.
I don't think I've ever been to a
I
.cc.
haven't.
There's some .cc's.
That would be a good website for CC's Pizza.
CC's.cc. That's awesome.
Did you guys ever go there?
Heck yeah! I used to live
CC's
in
Pizza?
I used to live
Fuck
in Norwood,
yeah,
and
man.
we would get CC's pizzas all the time because you could get takeout pizzas there for less than $5.
Yeah.
Probably a better deal than Little Caesars, and you could get 3-4 pizzas for $12 or $13. It was
Did they
amazing.
do the CC you later? When you
Oh
left
yeah,
with that?
oh yeah. CC you later.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lindsay used to work at CC's.
Did she?
Yeah, and I think
God,
she
fucking terrible.
would get
Hey,
angry
$5
whenever
buffet.
people would say "CC you later" and
Yep.
"CC you fuck off."
I used to go, if I ate at CC's, I would go straight to the pasta and load up with pasta and put the sauce on there and just dominate the pasta.
They had a cinnamon type.
Oh
Yeah.
So awesome.
Oh yeah.
That was
great.
actually good,
It
yeah.
was.
I thought their pizza sucked ass.
Their
though.
dessert pizza type stuff was really good.
Yeah,
though.
and their brownies were always really gooey. I remember
They're
that.
phasing
yeah.
them out though. CC's is
Yeah, it's a dying breed.
It's dying
They're-
breed.
I
You can
don't
only
even know what
find
one
them
is.
every now and then.
Yeah, I have no idea where the closest one is.
I used to go to the one.
I was
in,
last at a CC's in probably 2009. Cause
I
my-
hit up a CC's in, let's see, what year is it? 2016? Probably 2013 was the last time I was at a CC's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My band had just got done with a recording session back then, and we went to the CC's in Fairfield, and they knew I wouldn't eat pizza, and I just sat there and watched them all eat.
That was one of the
Pissed me
go-to
off.
locations for me and my buddies when we could finally start driving because CC's was so cheap
Yeah.
Like $5, all you could eat pizza. We would go there like once a week.
Bash.
Yeah.
Just pizza.
Annihilate all the.
God.
I remember loving that macaroni pizza or whatever it was, and
Yeah.
they had a buffalo chicken pizza, and the chicken was like little cubes. That was like just it's disgusting to think about now, but. Yep,
God.
CC's. That was the jam back in the day.
I'm getting sick to my stomach. Did you guys ever... I've mentioned Yahoo checkers and stuff. Did you guys ever play internet games, like, with other people?
Addictinggames.com.
Addicting Games was huge. I remember I liked Tanks a lot. Do you remember that game? Like, you're two little, like, itty-bitty tanks, and you have, like you have like your arsenal of weapons, and you have like so many of each one, and like you would aim like without like it wouldn't show you like where
wouldn't show your opponent.
Yeah, it would. Well, it would show your opponent. It wouldn't show you like the path that your missile will take. So you kind of have to like guess, and it takes like 3 or 4 shots to finally hit them. I remember playing that game a lot, and that was a game where you could talk to the person as you play, so you can like talk.
You, dude.
Yeah, fuck you, dude. Just dropped an A-bomb on you, motherfucker. Like, talk shit on people. Yeah, I remember playing Tanks quite a bit. Did you ever play that game?
I never played Tanks.
Nothing? Really?
No.
Addictinggames.com, though.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was the shit.
Wasn't there a site called board.com too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember that one.
I would go places if they ever had a 3D ping pong game. I always loved playing that on the internet. It would always be against the CPU, but still.
Yeah.
I will say I never played games like against other people online, but definitely gaming sites a lot when I was young. When during that time period, addictinggames.com was like my go-to.
I was asking them about internet games to see what they, because I mentioned playing checkers and chess and stuff.
In hopes of getting laid
I
as
did,
a 14-year-old guy.
I did briefly also play a little bit of, this was after 9/11, but I would play when, Texas Hold'em was huge, and like the World Series of Poker exploded in popularity, and everybody was into it. I would play a little bit of online poker, not for money or anything, just for fun, you know.
I think the first online shooter I ever tried was at my friend's house when I was in probably near the end of my 9th grade year, which would have been 2000, which is why it was weird to hear that you were in 5th grade, I think, when 9/11 happened.
I was in 8th grade.
I was in 6th grade.
Yeah.
I was in 10th.
I was in 8th grade.
Elementary school kids.
You old man.
I got pulled out of school, and that was just fucking surreal, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't understand what was
You didn't
happening.
get it?
I didn't know what the World Trade Centers were, and the principal came into our room in 6th grade and said, you know, the World Trade Centers have been attacked, and I was just like, all right.
Yeah.
As a
What?
kid, your
As a
initial
I mean,
reaction
like,
isn't to cry and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
No,
like,
as a
what
si-
happened?
Yeah, as a
And then-
6-year-old child, or 6-year-old, as an 11-year-old child, I was just like,
Yeah.
okay.
But then
What
as
time's
you-
lunch?
Yeah,
You know?
like,
and the day just went on as normal. And I do remember walking, because at the time, the John 23rd that I went to, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, was at a different campus than K through 5.
Yeah.
And it was actually attached to Fenwick High School. Now, the entire school, K through 8, is in that building. But we would have to walk through Fenwick and use their cafeteria. And I do remember walking to lunch that day and looking in the library, which had big glass windows, and seeing a bunch of high school students in there, and on the TV they had like both towers, like smoking and everything. But I still didn't really understand until I got home and kind of watched it, and then even more so, I had to wait for my parents to get home to even say anything.
So they like explained it to you, like, were you thinking there's some bad guys who came and did something really shitty?
I don't really remember how it was explained to me. The one thing I absolutely distinctly remember about it was going home, knowing something was wrong, going home, turning on the TV, and seeing that like seeing live as it was, or it wasn't live at that time. The now famous The Falling Man.
Yeah.
I remember turning on the TV, finding a news channel, and seeing footage of people just falling.
Yeah.
Just like falling in midair with nothing. And I think, and that was like, that's the one thing that's always stuck with me from that day, was literally people just falling to their deaths.
Well, now we're into the "Where Were You" portion of the show.
Yep.
Yeah. So Dale, you were in 5th grade.
Yeah, I was in 5th grade. They didn't even tell us at school. I didn't know, like, the day that it happened. I didn't know it happened until I got home.
Really? They didn't turn your TVs on or anything?
No, nothing. Like, the next day we had, like, they talked to us about it.
Yeah.
But, like, the day of, they never said anything. I had no clue until I got home, and my mom at the time, she was always home when I got home from school, and she was in the living room just crying, watching the news. And I remember kind of the same situation. I was like, why is she so upset? That building isn't anywhere near our house. Like, like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know. I really didn't understand why. But I do distinctly remember they would show shots of people in, like, overseas, like, celebrating the fact that this had just happened. And I remember that being like, whoa. Like, even as, like, a very young kid.
Yeah.
That like, this building that doesn't mean much to me personally, it's just got hit by a plane, but these people are celebrating the fact that just happened. I remember thinking about how messed up that was, still not really understanding the magnitude of what really happened. And then the next day at school, that's when the teachers kind of explained what just happened and why it's significant and everything like that. But yeah, the day of, they didn't tell us at school. I had no clue until like 6, 7, maybe 8 hours after it had happened.
Well, you mentioned celebrating. I remember there was a kid, and like as soon as it happened, like, you know, obviously I was in high school, so every TV in every classroom was turned on, and, you know, showing what was happening in real time. And we went to lunch, and there was one kid who had just transferred to our school fairly recently at that point, and he was from the Middle East, and he was like fucking laughing about it. And I remember,
fuck that.
I remember that getting pretty heated with some people.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, so his stance was kind of like, oh, you guys are you're getting what's been coming to you, and it was like,
that is
well,
bold.
Yeah,
wow,
yeah, and nothing happened to him, you know, which is good because that could have turned into quite an incident. But I still remember, you know, being pretty shocked that someone would be as bold as that to be in basically the middle of a cafeteria full of like mostly white kids from the U.S. and sitting there in the middle of them and just like looking at the TV and watching the footage and like laughing out loud and like smirking and making comments about it. And it was like, whoo, oh boy,
that is intense.
That is
rough.
So, yeah. So it's and the internet changed forever that day.
Yeah.
And then we have the Patriot Act and everything that you do online, you have to assume people are watching now.
Yeah.
That's not even a conspiracy thing.
No, that's just real life.
Yeah.
IRL.
If you say you're going to kill the president in a private message, somebody will find you and they'll talk to you about it. So.
Yeah, at the very least.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get a free trip to waterboarding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which sound, you know
Which
what?
kind of sounds fun.
I was
literally just gonna say that.
Yeah.
Kind of sounds fun at first, and
does.
then when you know what it is, you're like, whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa, you have been very misleading titling this torture.
Yeah. It's like,
sounds like a fun extreme
you know what
sport.
we're going to do to you? We're going to waterboard you.
Hell yeah!
Sweet.
Bring it on. That
So I
sounds
got to
great.
pick out my own waterboard?
Yeah.
Should I pack my bathing suit or can I do it in the nude?
Do I need a life vest for that?
I request California beach. I'd rather not go to Florida.
I'd rather not go to Florida. Does it include airfare to California? Because I'm kind of broke.
No, you will be waterboarded at Myrtle Beach.
But really, they still have like a secret military bunker under Myrtle Beach where they're actually going to waterboard you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to get waterboarded.
No. Totally
Hamster
off
dance.
topic. Human Centipede 3.
Yeah.
They waterboard a guy with boiling water.
Whoa, that's
burns
intense.
his face off.
Damn.
That was pretty cool.
Did you guys ever go to the original hamsterdance.com?
I did. I remember my English teacher showing us the hamster dance in class. Yeah, he was a good guy. He gave me my first attention. I was really butthurt. In my whole career of school, I got my first attention in 7th grade from the teacher who actually turned me on to the hamster dance. I was in the corner of the class with 2 of my buddies, and we were watching a movie, and they kept talking, and I was not talking. I was watching the movie, and they kept going back and forth and playing footsie and shit and whatever the fuck they were doing, and snickering, and he just looked over at our little table of 3. Detention. What the fuck? And like I tried to protest it after class. He was like, nope, detention tomorrow.
Guilty by association.
And the funny thing is, I actually saw him on Facebook recently, and I sent him a message, and I said, I still protest my detention you gave me in 7th grade.
Did he respond?
Yeah, he did.
What did he say?
I think he wrote back and he said something like, LOL, you were talking to. And I was like,
No! Fuck you, dude! That's hilarious.
No!
I got my first detention in 5th grade. There was do you guys remember what droopies were? Do you remember? Did you guys ever
walk up behind somebody?
Yeah, just you sneak up to somebody and pull their pants down real quick. Not the underwear. If you do the underwear,
you
you
get pantsed.
well,
that's
another
term.
word, but yeah, droopies is what we call them.
Okay.
Not the underwear. If you get the underwear, you're a fucking asshole. But we would do droopies, and there was in 5th grade there was I think 13 or 14 guys in my class. Yeah. Every one of us got an in-school suspension because we just would do this for like all the time. That's just how we would just like interact with each other. Like, I got you, Justin, or whatever. You know what I mean? And it, every single one of us got an in-school suspension for one day. It was terrible. That was my first detention.
I don't think I ever had an actual detention.
Never?
No.
Well, since we're getting towards the end of the show,
yeah, I got in trouble a lot in school.
This brings up a good topic, I think.
Yeah.
What if we discussed we can say maybe like schoolyard hijinks next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can do that. Mm-hmm. Sounds cool.
There's a lot of hijinks in my day.
Yeah. When you talked about not pulling the underwear down as well, that happened to me one time in gym class.
They got your underwear too?
Yeah.
Or ooh,
Yeah.
That's rough.
This kid that I hated, and he did it to me, and I was so fucking pissed off.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I was in we were in 8th grade, you know, and it's like, it's fucking bullshit. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then you're starting to be concerned.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you're self-aware at that point.
Yeah.
Self-conscious. And,
Yeah. And I feel like if you're just, walking around
Size.
Yeah. People might make some assumptions.
Well, especially in gym class too, because I talked about it one day. It wasn't on the podcast, but
Cardio penis.
When you're doing strenuous exercise and you get a little bit sweaty, it shrivels up as if you're swimming in a pool or something. At least for me, if I'm doing strenuous exercise, when I'm done, I have to like adjust myself back into normal.
Like this isn't me. This isn't me.
Yeah.
Well, I've noticed that more with like crunches and such, and when you're pulling in, I feel like it causes a contraction sometimes. So you don't want to get your undies pulled down at that point because then you look like you got a little.
Yeah, a little micro dick.
Yeah. Micro peenie.
I don't know. When I was in 8th grade, I wouldn't have been too bummed out by having my pants pulled down.
I think I turned around, like, yelled at him. I was like, "What, you want to see my fucking cock?" You do? Like...
That's a good response, because that instantly makes him like, oh.
Yeah.
I got the underwear and the pants one time, but it was at an all-boys high school, so, and they had all seen my dick before anyway, so, from showering after football practice and stuff.
I feel like we'll have
we
a
were
pretty...
forced to shower.
Oh, we were too.
Yeah.
But I feel like we'll have a pretty loaded show next week.
Yeah.
Schoolyard hijinks.
Yep.
That could be pretty much anything.
Yeah. Through any school year, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even senior year of high school.
Yeah.
What about college? Did you ever get
school?
Get a blowjob on campus?
Not on campus,
In the
no.
parking lot.
In the
No.
library.
In the library.
69ing in the library.
From the librarian.
I wish. That sounds awesome.
I got close one time.
Nice.
The librarian?
Not with the library.
Oh.
But in the library.
Oh.
Got close.
It's nice and quiet. And...
Yeah.
I never really made friends in my college class. Well, whatever. We'll
Okay.
save
Next
that for
week.
Next week.
Next week.
All right. Well, it's been fun. Thanks for tuning in. And
pick up the album if you haven't, fuckwads.
Yep.
SuperDivorce.bandcamp.com.
Too
Dicks.
sweet me.
Yeah.
Too sweet us.
Too sweet us all.
With your dicks.
Too sweet us. Mushroom stamp edition. All right. We'll see you guys later.
See you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
SUPERDIVORCE.